What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Hi everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and not just any Aaron from Push Square, Aaron Potter from Push Square. Oh yes, just bear my namesake in mind as we run through the subject of today's video, because all those years of being asked for Hermione's number or asking if Harry was my cousin have all been leading to this moment. I'm sure Ben Potter, formerly of this PlayStation parish, knows my pain. Anyways, last night saw the second state of play in as many weeks debut, with the folks over at WB Interactive and Avalanche Software granting us with our biggest look yet at Hogwarts Legacy, which by all accounts looks like the AAA Harry Potter game fans have always dreamed of. There was a sizable amount of gameplay details and information to chew on from the 20 or so minute digital showcase, so I thought it'd be useful to touch upon the 7 biggest things we've learned. Whether you're a diehard fan of the wizarding world or not, one thing is for certain. This is a game that looks perfectly primed to put a spell on you. We already had some idea of Hogwarts Legacy's story, most notably the fact that it be taking place literal decades before the arrival of you-know-who, or a certain scarred boy who lived would even have walked through the Hogwarts doors. However, set in the late 1800s, Hogwarts Legacy is tapping into a relatively unknown area of Potter lore, which developer Avalanche is using to its advantage by weaving a wholly original narrative that book and movie fans alike won't have experienced before. Of course, being set in a time before Voldemort or even Grindelwald have come to power means we're in desperate need of a big bad. And in Hogwarts Legacy, it looks to be a defected sect of goblins wherein the main beef lies. The extended look hinted at an uneasy alliance between said goblins and a bunch of dark wizards, which is sure to cause chaos and threaten Hogwarts unless you eventually get involved. Just how dangerous will the team up end up being? It'll be up to you to find out. Hogwarts Legacy casts you as a student, sure, but interestingly enough, not one who's yet familiar with this world. No, instead, the extended look revealed that your character will actually be dropped into this world of witchcraft and wizardry as a 5th year student, indicating that you have arrived following a strange set of mysterious circumstances that's sure to play into the wider plot. That said, being different is precisely what makes you prone to a new type of power, because in addition to the spells that you'll learn from classes like herbology, potions, and defense against the dark arts, you just so happen to be the only one who can deploy an ancient magic, something unbeknownst to even your teachers. This ancient magic was teased to be something intrinsically linked to Hogwarts itself, with its sudden return tying into a forthcoming event of great scale. Either way, this is something we've never seen from any Harry Potter property or project before now. Could your character grow to become one of the greatest wizards to have ever lived thanks to this ancient magic? You'll even be able to deploy it in combat scenarios. Speaking of which, the state of play also gave us our first proper look at how combat will work in Hogwarts Legacy, and what it made blatantly clear was just how much shaking up spells and using different combinations will be key to taking on dark wizards and other kinds of opponent. From the simplicity of Stupefy to more complex incantations that might be dependent on your wand upgrades that you've unlocked and potions you've learnt back in the classroom, combat in practice will be full of options, and it looks to be surprisingly up close and frantic judging by the explicit gameplay shown too. Of course, it wouldn't be a Harry Potter game without some one-on-one dueling against other students, and Hogwarts Legacy took the time to confirm that this is yet another form of combat that you can engage in. Different enemy types are confirmed to have different weaknesses in whatever scenario you find yourself in, so it might pay to upgrade your character's spells and pay attention to the built-in upgrade system. Hogwarts Legacy is primarily described as an open-world action RPG, a lot of genres there, and if you want to know where that RPG element comes from specifically, then you needn't look further than the ability to customize your bespoke 5th year student. It all begins with you being sorted into one of the 4 houses, confirmed now to have vastly different common rooms. This marks the very first time we've seen Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff's common room ever, adding further texture to this wizarding universe far beyond than how you just choose to simply customize your character. Saying that though, it was also confirmed that there will be a lot of character customizations to choose from, ranging from several different faces, multiple hairstyles, even going right down to the scars and beauty marks on your skin. All of this was shown briefly in the gameplay demo in a blink and you'll miss it fashion. Plus, when you add on the additional layer of swappable gear, Hogwarts Legacy very much wants to be an adventure that fits specifically around your preferences. Despite previous hints about the places you'll be able to visit, many of us were wondering how large an open world will be featured in Hogwarts Legacy exactly. Well, it looks to be pretty sizable, as evidenced by a section in the extended look that confirmed broom flight as your primary method of travelling between places quickly. I mean, duh. That said, iconic locations like the Forbidden Forest, obviously Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, and many more will be fully free to roam around in. Most of these places will even be populated by vendors and residents from which you can glean useful information, either relating to the mysterious main quest or more bite-sized stories you can dive into. Odds are, if there's a prominent location featured in the Harry Potter books or movies, then it'll be featured in Hogwarts Legacy to some degree too, and you'll be able to get there by hopping on your Nimbus 2000. Other brands of broomsticks are readily available. One of the biggest surprises to come out of the Hogwarts Legacy state of play, at least for me, was news that you won't necessarily be alone during this sweeping journey, despite it being a single-player game. How, I hear you ask? Well, seemingly thanks to your fellow students, a few of which can be befriended until they eventually reach a companion status, after which they'll accompany you during select missions and even aid you in battle. This is yet another way in which Hogwarts Legacy very much looks to be leaning into the RPG-ness of it all, with each companion character coming complete with their own backstory, introductory mission, and useful skills ideal for aiding you in your journey. The closest comparison I can think to make is with the crew members you can bond with in the Mass Effect games. These companion characters are sure to help further flesh out this world beyond what we've seen before, and are a neat little touch that I really wasn't expecting. Now, I'm cheating a little bit with this next detail because it wasn't actually touched upon within the state of play itself, and in a way, it's a shame that I need to mention it here. But soon after the extended look had aired, Warner Bros. Quelled people's fears that microtransactions would feature. Those not being here will obviously be a great relief to many, as it'll mean that the in-game economy, in which you can craft potions, buy customizable apparel and more, should all be balanced and fair. Warner Bros. Has seemingly learned its lesson since the days of Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and we thank them for it because Hogwarts Legacy will be all the better. So there you have it in terms of 7 key takeaways from everything new revealed regarding Hogwarts Legacy. Is this a magical world you can't wait to visit? It looks to be a perfect game to tide PlayStation players over during the 2022 holiday period. Please just don't get delayed. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like and consider subscribing to the Push Square YouTube channel to stay up to date with everything else PlayStation related. Until next time, as ever, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.